fires, end zone, touchdown! Touchdown! Intercepted! Touchdown! Teddy Bruschi, Willie McGinn, made the catch! What a Super Bowl!
Welcome to New England Ford Patriots' fifth quarter. Brought to you by the New England Ford dealers, home of the best-selling cars and trucks in New England.
Welcome to the New England Ford fifth quarter post-game show here on UPN 38. I'm Steve Burton. Joining me on my panel is Bob Newmeyer, Scott Zolak, and Steve Diossi. The Patriots have just beaten the Buffalo Bills by a score of 35-7, and believe me when I tell you the game wasn't even that close. And guys, before we even go back down to Alice Cook, I just want to talk to you guys about Buffalo's horrible. I mean, just plain horrible.
Well, yeah, they're a bad team, Steve, but, you know, I think the measure of a good team is that they blow out bad teams, and that's what happened today. This score could have been 350-7 for my money. And for the first time this year, I get the impression that the Patriots can do some damage in the playoffs. That's now back-to-back complete games. Offense, defense, run the checklist down, O-line, Dillon 100 yards, Brady superb, the defense stifling, add them all up. That was one impressive outing by the Patriots.
Buffalo, to me, Scott Zolak, looked like a Pop Warner team out there.
Well, they did. That's two teams back-to-back. You play the Jets and then you play Buffalo. But let's go back to when they played the Saints, and you saw the beginning of the game pretty much shaping up the same way. Patriots jumped out to a quick 14-0 lead, but then they kind of let them back into the game. They were playing with a lot of pop. Now they really cranked it up. You saw the front four, the front down four defensively. I really like what they did today. And I think Roosevelt Colvin is really starting to find his niche with this defense. Not that he hasn't before, but it seems like he's worked past that injury. Now he's starting to become a viable force. You combine him with Seymour, Ty Warren, when these guys crank it up, I mean, there's something to be reckoned with. And I mean, I don't know if you want to play these guys in the first round. They proved they could go on the road in the snow in bad conditions and play well.
Well, let's not forget that they have played a couple of JV teams in the past 2 weeks.
Thank you.
I talked about this 3 weeks ago. But this is exactly what the Patriots needed to do: get their confidence up against these lesser teams. And they'll play these teams again outside of Tampa. Tampa's a pretty decent team, but between the Jets and Miami, they're not playing the meat of the NFL. But they can work on things. They can get their confidence up, especially defensively. Offensively, I'm sure they had their confidence, although the Corey Dillon 100 yards today adds to that confidence. But again, let's not get overexcited about beating the B squads.
Right, 35-7. Now, Heineken Red Star play of the game is that Ellis Hobbs interception that came in the third quarter. Here you see it, Newmy, because this was right after Brady had just thrown it.
Yeah, and a couple of picks for this kid, and this is a guy that's, you know, improving game by game. I know he was hurt at the end of the game, and that would be extremely damaging to the Patriots if he would be out any length of time. You like the way Hobbs is on the improve, and I think he's contributing to the defensive improvement overall.
The big thing is being an athlete here, and how many times have we seen throughout the course of the year, especially the beginning after the injury to Rodney Harrison, guys having balls directly thrown at them. You see him there, he goes up, gets the ball at his highest point. The effort's there, he's in position, and he's making plays, and what can you ask more out of a young kid?
Numi's absolutely right, though. They really can ill afford another injury in that secondary, and he's
anywhere for that matter.
He's come along to fill in quite well. He looks like Randall Gabe did at the end of last year.
Whoa.
All right, let's go down to Alice Cook, who is alive in Buffalo, standing by with Ted Johnson. Alice, all yours.
Okay, you guys, you're right. The defense was great today, but our play of the game actually comes on offense.
Well, I tell you what, my play of the game, Alice, was that huge 3rd down and 8 play by Kevin Falk. I thought that play was huge. If you watch the sideline of the Patriots, the sideline was going nuts. Those guys loved it. That was a key 3rd down conversion. Ultimately, they went on to score on that drive. And to me, that was the key play of this game. That really turned the momentum back towards the Patriots.
Despite the opponent and what their record was, they really needed this for a confidence builder, didn't they?
They did. They did. They needed to put a solid game in all 3 phases. The defense was just this played was great intensity with a purpose. I thought their play calling was very, very aggressive, very much a carryover from the Jets game. I think that's how the boys want to play it, and that's how we'll probably see it from here on in.
And they knew they needed the running game, and it came through big time today.
The running game was great. You know, Corey did a great job, and like we said in you know, the game day show, that if they run the ball, you set up the play action. They were getting deep overs to David Givens. Troy Brown in the slot all day today was dominating. It was great to see Troy. And then, you know, Dion was having his game, but it was all set up because of what Corey was doing. And then it's just a different offense when Corey's in there and Kevin's in there. It's just a completely different offense.
They did it easy today. We're going to go back to Steve Burton right now.
All right, Alice, thank you very much. We're going to take a break, but you can vote now for the player of the game. Log on to UPN38.com. Click on the player of the game. Who are you voting for? Stay with us. Patriots win 35-7.
Let's Start Play of the Game is brought to you by Heineken. Heineken, it's all about the beer. Visit enjoyheinekenresponsibly.com.
Guests on New England Ford Patriots fifth quarter receive a gift certificate to Milton's, the store for men. At Milton's, you'll be as comfortable in their stores as you will be in their clothes.
Welcome back to New England Ford Patriots fifth quarter. Brought to you by the New England Ford dealers, home of the best-selling cars and trucks in New England.
Welcome back to the post-game show. The Patriots have now beaten the Buffalo Bills 10 out of their last 11 games. And let's go back to our panel where let's look at the Patriots' first scoring drive, Nomi, because they marched right down the field, okay? And Ben Watson came up big today. A couple of the tight ends came up big today.
Yeah, I mean, this was surgical, the way Brady dissected the Bills' defense. And I think that as I was driving in the fourth quarter, they had either tied a franchise record for most first downs in a game, 30-plus first downs. I mean, this was pretty good. This was vintage. A couple they went to 32. Yep. A couple to Watson, one to Branch, one to Brown. I mean, this is vintage because of the distribution of the ball to different receivers.
Well, you look at Astroturf on the backside, and two of these occasions you saw Tom step up in the pocket. What he did, a nice job running the end outside. Third down conversions were huge today. I think 11 of 14. I can't remember the last time they were almost 70% on third down, especially over that long of a course of the game. And consider the conditions. Tom Brady, very efficient again today, over 300 yards, almost 70, 75%. And if you're doing that at this time of year, but you see the names. You see Watson, you see Branch, you see Troy Brown. It's not one guy that this guy's hanging on going to. He has no problem spreading it around. Here he is on the play fake again, buying time. This is where he hurts the knee or the calf, whatever. I'm sure we'll never hear what the exact injury is. But great field vision, doesn't throw it away, finds enough time and scores 6.
What is it about Tom Brady and Adam Vinatieri that they play so well in lousy weather conditions? Adam Vinatieri, you can understand, he's from Snowville, South Dakota. But Tom Brady from California, and I know he didn't have a whole lot of snow games up in Michigan, even though it can get cold up there. Something about these guys, they bear down. He was surgical, like Numi said. He was so precise with his passing today. It was something, especially when you talk about those. When the hand gets cold, Joey, you know that.
We got to go straight out to the podium where Bill Belichick is standing by live.
Okay, well, I thought that was a good win for our football team today. You know, I thought we came in and played pretty solidly in all phases of the game, and you know, it was a good effort defensively. We did a decent job on the running game and played better on third down. Offensively, it was better on third down. We were able to run the ball a little bit and have some balance. So, you know, I thought it was a solid effort. So hopefully we can build on that. You know, we've got a short week this week against Tampa, and come in and you know, see if we can build on these last couple and get ready to go against a good team from Tampa Bay that's playing very well. So we'll have a big challenge this week. But it's always good to win in the division, good to win on the road. And I'm proud of our team and the way they played today. I thought they played hard and made some plays, played better on third down, got the ball in the end zone, kept them out. So, you know, it's better than it's been.
What is it about this weather, Bill? Your team seems to win. Is it just coincidence, or do you think it's just...
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
So is there any thought, Brady, you know, obviously was limping after the touchdown that he ran in. Was there any thought about at least taking him out for a while, or did he just want to go?
He was okay to go, so we went. We took him out at the end.
Like you continue to be aggressive, some on defense had some blitzes.
Yeah, thought we were able to get some pressure on the quarterback. Our coverage is, you know, was a little bit better. But, you know, our play on third down helped us and be able to get off the field, and that's been a big, I mean, that helps you defensively, it helps you offensively, it gives you better field position. It's a big factor in the game. It's a big difference between the game the last time we played them and in this game. Third down conversions were heavily in their favor in the first game and much more in our favor in this game, and that had a lot to do with it. Big part of the game.
You should thought this might be your best overall performance offensively?
I don't know. It's I'm not. Look, right now we just got to take where we are, what we've done, and build on it and get ready for Tampa Bay, and that's where we're at. I don't think now's any time to look back and you know, try to rank anything. Just keep going forward and get ready for Tampa Bay.
So were you worried at all when Tom was looking like he was?
I think he's okay. So if he wasn't, then, you know, be worried.
Can you just talk about his performance?
I thought Tom played well. You know, sure he had a couple balls there he'd like to have back, but overall I thought he did a nice job. We got the ball down the field. We hit some big plays. We converted third downs, and you know, and he's out there running around, you know, making plays, running, which we usually don't see from Tom, but they've come at some real key times recently, and that's good. It's been a nice job by him to, you know, to see those openings occur and be able to take advantage of them and scramble for some yardage. So that's, you know, take some plays that really don't look like there's much there and be able to convert on third down or make positive plays out of them. Or, you know, it's heads-up football by Tom as he usually plays.
I know you don't want to rate it, but do you feel like the team is building over the last couple of weeks? Positive.
I thought they played well today. I don't think that has anything to do with next week or last week or anything else. You know, I thought they played well today.
Bill, you weren't really worried about loss of people today, didn't care, like pretty much daring him to beat you.
Well, we have a lot of respect for Buffalo, their offense, their defense, and certainly their special teams. And you know, we want to come in and try to play our best game in all three phases of the game. That's all we were trying to do, is just play well enough to win.
Where Kevin and Corey missed some games earlier this season, do you think that might make them fresher as getting on the stretch, and did that help they at all?
I don't know. I'm sure they would all like to have been out there, but it was good. It's always good to have them back. It's good to have all our players available, and hopefully we'll have a full complement here going forward. You know, we didn't today, and we haven't at other times, but hopefully, you know, at some point we'll get them all back. We'd love to have them back. You know, unfortunately that's not always the case, but we'd love to have everybody out there.
Bill, can you kind of explain that crackback block they called on Tom? What the rule is?
I think you should just ask the officials about it. Let Bill explain it, and that way I don't misrepresent it.
I'm not questioning whether it was a good call or a bad call. I'm just wondering what the rule itself is.
The rule is you can't crack back.
It's not lined up outside.
There's some technicalities in the rule. I think probably, based on the way the players described to me, I think probably it was a good call. Okay. But I'm standing on field level, plays on the other side of the field. I didn't get a great look at it, but based on the way the play was described to me, it probably was an illegal block. Probably. Okay, that's just seeing the play and hearing it the way I heard it.
You emphasize third down, getting off the field, and staying on the field. You talk about being able to do that so much better than Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I think it was one of the big keys to the game. I mean, it was not the. You know, there were a lot of things that were important, but that was a big one. And offensively, we converted them, and defensively, we were able to get off and make those short drives and get the ball back for our offense. So that's something that in the first Buffalo game was heavily in their favor, and that was reflected in the way the game turned out. You know, the way it played. You know, to the end. So. I'm glad we're able to do it today. I think it'll be important for us every week going forward. You know, the better you can play on third down, the easier it makes it on everybody.
Shutting down the running game, what does that do to your pass defense in terms of what you can do rushing?
Well, if you can put them in a longer yardage situation, it gives you more options. You know, when the offense is in those third and shorts, then they pretty much have, like Buffalo, they got 5 receivers to throw to. They got a running quarterback, so it's got 6 guys you got to cover. When it's third and 10, then they're gonna have a hard time getting all 5 receivers that far down the field to pick up the first down. You've got fewer guys really you have to defend, and even if the quarterback scrambles, he's got a lot further to go than when he does in those short yardage situations. So it just makes it a little bit easier to defend because you don't have as many things to deal with. I mean, it's still, you still got to cover them, but you just don't have as many guys to take care of, and they probably don't have as many options in the routes they can run.
Anything stand out in Ashford stepping in a left tackle?
Hey, Tom's a good, solid player for us. He's played well when he's had an opportunity through the time he's been here, including today. And look, all our players are important to us, and whenever they're called upon, they do a good job preparing, and they're ready to step up and give us their best. That's what Tom did today. Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right, that was Patriots head coach Bill Belichick, who was very careful not to criticize the officials. We're going to take another break. Vote now for the player of the game, UPN38.com. Click on player of the game. We'll be back. Patriots win 35-7 over the Buffalo Bills. Stay with us.
Coach Bill Belichick's post-game news conference is brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' Donuts, come home again. Welcome back to New England Ford Patriots 5th quarter. Brought to you by the New England Ford dealers, home of the best-selling cars and trucks in New England.
Patriots win again, and we're going to go right back down to Buffalo, where Alice Cook is standing by with an update on the injured Tom Brady. Alice?
All right, Steve, I'm in the interview room, but to my left is an X-ray room. And just a few minutes ago, Tom Brady was seen going into the X-ray room. We don't have any more information on it than that. But as you know, after he scored his touchdown, he was hobbling a little bit. Maybe it is his knee or ankle. All speculation, but he is in the room to my left, the X-ray room. What do you guys think?
Well, I'll tell you, we're watching the play where Brady gets hurt on. He scores a touchdown here, and the announcers knew he brought this up, which is a very good point. The announcers just assumed it was his knee. And later in the game, you could see a pad underneath his sock on his calf. So I don't know exactly what Brady's injury is, but obviously he's limping there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of a cardinal sin of broadcasting 101. You don't presume about injuries unless you have the information. And, and those guys never get the information. But Brady, I think, Steve, in a way, reminded me of the old Jimmy Brown of the Cleveland Browns. So when he was tackled, used to get up like he was shot dead, and Tom was limping throughout the game. Yes, moxie guy that he is, but every time he needed to run for a first down or throw a block, he didn't, limping at all. Shades of Jim Brown.
Yeah, he got it done. And the kid is just tough mentally.
Well, it's not like panic sitting. And anytime you get injured, regardless of what part of your body is, general rule is they take you to X-rays just to be safe, whether it's your head, shoulders, knees, toes, whatever it is. And Tom Brady, for that fact, it looked like it was a calf contusion. Maybe it didn't look like he got hit by the helmet. Maybe he popped a muscle, but it's definitely in the high leg area. I'd be surprised if there's any kind of a break here.
Well, you're starting to sound like Belichick. The high leg area.
It's left side of his body, right? That's what's going to be out tomorrow.
Right? Left side of his body.
Stay tuned in Foxborough tomorrow. Left side of body.
He could have even just hit the shin.
Do you think he's going to be probable this week?
Yeah, exactly.
Think, huh?
Next week, probable.
Sets the record next week?
There's no use speculating when it comes to the New England Patriots, especially after what the Atlanta Falcons did with the Michael Vick injury about 6 or 7 weeks ago. After that, the Patriots started just saying, okay, you want to play this game, we will put everybody who even has a bump or a bruise on the injured list. And now Tom Brady will be on there again because he's on every week too. You're absolutely right, Naomi. I think it was very, very presumptuous and quick to the call for the announcers to call it a knee injury.
You heard Bill Belichick be very careful not to criticize the officials, but let's take a look at some of these plays where you have to question some of these calls, especially on the reverse call that Brady made a block on the crackback.
Are you questioning that they called the reverse, given that he had a hurt leg and he had to go out and throw a block?
Well, I'm not questioning that.
That's the guy's job right here. But crackback, that's the thing I'm shocked at. Crackback happens when a defensive player, and you saw it right there, that the defensive player is looking down inside, and somehow he is defenseless. Thus, there's a guy coming in from the outside.
From the outside.
From the outside, has an intent to go down low, not hit him high. If anything, Tom's head is pretty much outside the guy. If anything, it's his right arm that comes out. If we could take a look at it again, I don't know if you have it. You're going to see Brady at the right side. Watch his right arm go outside.
That's holding.
That's what they call offensive linemen for holding. Yep. Anytime a guy gets beat and you go down at the guy's legs with the arm outside it, boom, here comes the flag, 10 yards holding.
And from where he comes from, he's practically a pulling guard. He's not coming from
that's just a tackle. You guys make a good point, but Brady's arguing with the officials. He's saying, crackback, he's coming at me.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the one coming at me.
Well, there was a foul. There was a foul, but worst case scenario, it was holding. It wasn't a personal foul. But again, I think one of these referees, I think that referee there, he was in the Super Bowl too. I recognize him.
Bill Carollo, Steve.
Well,
Carollo,
Super Bowl referee this past year. So he's obviously one of the better ones.
So he knows his stuff.
They get there by grade, but even the best make mistakes in that time. And I think they were close on the Rosie Colvin hit to the head too.
That's my next one. That's my next play because they call helmet to helmet on this penalty here. Roosevelt Colvin rushing J.P. Lossman, and all of a sudden a flag is thrown. Now, what do you want the guy to do? He can't hold up in midair.
I mean, this is what guys have been complaining about. I know Urlacher complained about this. They can't do anything. Bottom line, you can barely breathe on a quarterback these days.
Which is ridiculous.
And you're going to get the flag. That's just the way it is. That's a league mandate to protect quarterbacks, right or wrong, fair or unfair.
The big thing, Richard Seymour takes one for the team right there. If anything, he leaves with the helmet right into the chest.
Yeah, but it's Samuel.
He gets hit.
But it's Samuel that bounces Colvin's head into the quarterback. Watch this.
quarterback, right.
Boom, see? Now you're absolutely not leading with the head in that case.
And we're seeing that at very...
That's just overprotective.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, we're slowing things down here. Do they protect the quarterbacks too much in this league? Yeah.
You have to.
Do they have to? Yes.
Yep. They're the
Are they going
guys.
overboard? Yes.
Yes.
Better safe than sorry with quarterbacks.
Spoken like an expert.
I like
the protection. I love the protection.
Of course you like the protection.
Well, it's like anything.
I think, it's getting to the verge of being a pansy a little bit.
Being a pansy?
Yeah. I think so.
If that happens to Brady and you get the call, we'd be sitting here.
Well, Brady did get the call. Brady got a roughing the passer call later in the game, too.
Now, anytime a guy takes the helmet and goes up to the head with the hand or the arm,
well, that's a whole different issue. That's a whole different issue. But you cannot stop in midair. Okay, and I think that's what some of these officials are expecting some of these players to do, and I thought that was a very bad call. Let's talk about, if you will, the running game, okay? Because in my opinion, Corey Dillon stepped up today. Mike Cloud played a little bit. Kevin Falk. 2 great catches by Kevin Falk.
Well, what you saw was a progression of Corey Dillon playing better last week and then coming again this week and playing even better than he did last week. He was running with authority. He was putting the shoulder down. He was making sure he got the good hits as he was finishing the drive. This is the Corey Dillon that we know, and this is the important time of year, especially with those weather conditions, that a guy like Corey Dillon gets into a groove and starts running that way. And that is and they mentioned this on the broadcast too, a fantastic mix-up with Kevin Falk.
This is what I talked about in the pregame. You talk about mixing it up. Dillon was supposed to be huge today. Here comes Kevin Falk, big on third down, big with the screen pass. Did a nice job setting up the screens. Here he is underneath. Nobody knows the sticks better than Kevin. Great vision, but Corey looks like Corey of last December, and that's the key thing for this team. It got to take the pressure off Brady.
And it was a 100-yard rushing game for Corey Dillon, and we've studied the key factors in winning football games. Time of possession, critical. Turnover battle, crucial. Win the score first after the first quarter, but a 100-yard rusher, teams win, Steve, about 75% of the time. You put up a 100-yard rushing game, you win about 75% of your games. And that's what Dillon did today.
Those are pretty good numbers. And I will say this, it's almost good that Corey Dillon has taken half the season off, because now starts the true season. These last few games going into the playoffs, people are going to expect Corey Dillon to come up big.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they rested both Corey Dillon and Kevin Falk an extra week in this situation, because if
brings me to our next point. We're going to do that after the break, because you guys disagreed with me during the break. We got a lot to argue up here about. We're going to take another break, but don't forget to vote again for the player of the game. UPN38.com, click on player of the game. It's just that simple. Stay with us.
Welcome back to New England Ford Patriots 5th Quarter. Brought to you by the New England Ford Dealers, home of the best-selling cars and trucks in New England.
Well, the Patriots are rolling. They beat the Bills today 35-7. They have 3 regular season games left, which brings us to our next point. Do you rest your players? The Patriots, they did their part. They won this afternoon. Now, the Miami Dolphins, if they lose, the Patriots clinch the AFC East, okay? With 3 games to go, 3 meaningless games. Does Belichick rest his players going into the playoffs?
No, 1,000 times no. I think you have to pick your spots. Obviously, if a guy like Brady is questionable, I wouldn't sit him out. But I think you're still playing for seedings here. I mean, yes, they are 3 games behind Denver for a possible first-round bye. But don't forget, the more games you win, the higher seed you have, the better chances of getting an extra home game in the playoffs. I see, just because they clinch the AFC East and maybe do that by 7 o'clock, you stay sharp. You keep improving. This team's on a little bit of a roll right now. You can't put the brakes on by all of a sudden resting key guys.
But what if someone goes down in a meaningless game? What if Corey Dillon gets hurt again? What if Brady goes down again?
You can't play scared. What you have to do...
I'm not saying you play scared. I'm saying play smart.
Your best bet right now is to get on a roll, start playing well going into the playoffs. We said this 5 or 6 weeks ago when we looked at the tail end of the schedule. We said, now it's time to start playing well, play well into December, go into the playoffs on a roll. That's what you have to do now. If you can play Tom Brady, just like the Colts should do, get a lead, make sure you're in control, and then if you want to rest some players, do that. But you absolutely go into the game thinking you've got to win this game no matter what.
Well, the Colts, you bring up Indy, they're playing for history as well. I mean,
history means nothing in this case.
You don't think history means nothing to those players in the Indianapolis Colts locker room?
You know what? It doesn't matter. You go 16-0 and then you lose in the playoffs for whatever reason. Now all of a sudden you're a laughing stock. So history means absolutely nothing in this case. The Super Bowl is what it means. You ask any of those guys, they would trade the 16-0 for a Super Bowl anytime they get.
I think history means a whole lot down in Indy. Let's go back to Alice Cook, who's live in Buffalo. Alice?
Okay, well, Steve, Ted and I are going to go back to the running game. Corey Dillon, 102 rushing yards today. He looked so strong.
He did. He ran very, very strong. Once he gets past those linebackers, there's not a safety in this league that wants to tackle him. He doesn't run out of bounds. Whenever they have a perimeter run, he's out there on those corners. He just drops his shoulder, and that's what Bill loves. He never runs out of bounds. He reminds me a lot of Earl Campbell. Kind of gets up real slow, and once out of the game every now and then, but then comes back and just knocks your head off. So, 22 carries, 100 yards. Very methodical, this offense today. Very, very methodical.
And Kevin Falk, I know you're really high on him and what he did today with receiving yards.
Yeah, Kevin's a stud. I mean, that kid, they put him out, they motion him out, they get mismatches him on linebackers. Again, there's not a linebacker in the league that can cover him. And this game, to me, was all about matchups. They wanted to get Troy Brown in the slot, Kevin Falk on linebackers, Ben Watson on their safeties, and they exploited all of those guys.
Rosie Colvin is walking in behind us. Should we talk to him now? Yeah, we're going to go to Rosie. Come on in, Rosie. Right here.
What are you standing on the box?
I'm too short to stand next to you guys, son. All right, well, you guys really, you needed a game like this.
Yeah. It was big. What is it? Another good game by Rose. Yeah. But yeah, it was huge to come in. We knew it was going to be a tough task because they play well at home, and the previous couple years we've come down here, it's been a good game. So we felt like we needed to get out to a good start, and defense played well early, and the offense put up some points, so that helped.
Rosie, it seems to me that the defensive calling is more aggressive. It seems like you guys are attacking, blitzing more. It seemed like that was a huge success for you guys against the Jets last week. It seems like it was a huge success for you guys today. Does that seem to be the case?
I think it goes hand in hand with playing the run well. When you stop the run early in the ball game, you don't let a team get going. You get the second and long and third and long, then you can call a more aggressive game. And then also Eric feeling more comfortable with what guys can do on the field. And on top of that, Tom and the offense going out and putting up points. Then you can go out and you can call blitzes, you can call different things because you sort of have an idea. The percentages sort of lean towards them passing more than running. So I think completely as a team we're starting to play better, and that's what we need.
Rosie, what about the roughing call on you?
It was a difficult situation for the official to be in, and I completely.
I'm sure you let him know that.
Yeah, I did. I talked to him about it, and he said my helmet had rose up to hit his face mask, but I was asking the guy, was he all right, and he felt like.
You didn't ask him that.
I did ask him that.
You did?
Yeah, well, he cringed at that.
Okay.
Hit, so
that was nice of you.
Yeah, I try to be a nice guy.
Yeah. Hey, it seemed to me that the defensive line right now is playing really well, just in the basic 3-man, 4-man fronts. It looks like you guys, your games are really hitting good. Your stunts are hitting good. Are guys feeling comfortable playing together right now? It looks like they are.
I think early in the season when you got some guys banged up, some guys out of the lineup, there's a lot of pressure for guys to play the entire game. You put Richard back in there, you get Jarvis healthy. You had Mike Wright and Dan Klecko, Marquise Hill, all the guys that get the opportunity to roll in there. You got fresh bodies to throw in there, and it's an opportunity for guys to make plays. I think they're feeling more comfortable, and not just them, but the secondary and us as linebackers. You get the opportunity to gel a little bit as a unit, then you can do some good things. So hopefully we can continue that trend in the future.
What about Ellis Hobbs? It seems like he's really, you got to love his enthusiasm. It seems like he has a lot of penalties, but he makes up for it with some big plays.
Yeah, he's a young corner. He's doing a good job out there on the island, and what you would hope is he continue to get better. He made that big play with the interception when Buffalo was trying to get back in the game. So it's good that he's on his toes and he's doing things that the coaches asked him to do. And we would want that out of anybody that's out there. You know that, and hopefully guys can continue to play at a high level.
What's this like for you and the team now, just waiting to see how Miami and...
Well, Ted knows, just as anybody in the locker room, we try to focus on what we can do. And we can't control that game. We have to continue to go out, prepare as hard as we can, and we got a tough game coming against Tampa. And, we put ourselves in a position where we want to be at the end of the year by continuing to win ball games and not really worrying about what, San Diego and Miami do. And we just got to play hard.
The momentum is in confidence for defense is so critical. It seems like you guys right now, confidence is probably as high as it's been all year. Is that true?
Well, I think the combination of playing 2 games well as a defensive unit, it helps. And like I said, you just try to build on it and try to continue to do things well.
Those interceptions were so key today, turning points.
It definitely was. And, the team is known for taking shots, and they throw deep balls a lot. And like I said, Ellis was huge on that one. I think Teddy tipped the other one, and James was right there to pick it off and take it to the end zone. So, anytime
don't forget Asante.
Yeah, Asante. Yeah. So, anytime you can get an interception, it gives the offense another opportunity to put the ball in the end zone. And I don't think you want to give Tom and the offense too many opportunities. So, they're pretty good, and we hope we can continue that in the future.
Well, it seemed to me, too, in the first game, they ran the ball 80% of the time on first down. And we're getting, 4, 5, 6 yards a clip. Was that something you guys said, we got to stop that?
I think so. I think any team you play, you got to stop the run, because if you don't, then it's easier for them to move the chains. And,
and you guys love that third down, do you now?
Most definitely. You get them in second and long, third and long, it's a chance to tee off. Everybody on the front foot loves getting sacked. So I think it gave us a boost. We knew what we had to do. It was a challenge. And the guys sort of stepped up and tried to answer the bell.
Quit hitting so hard, man.
I'm trying to be more physical and aggressive now, and they're giving me penalties. So,
Do you feel your game rising to a new level?
Well, I feel comfortable. I feel more comfortable than I have been in the past. My body feels better. So, I hope that I can go out and continue to prepare hard. And if I get the opportunity, try to take advantage of it.
Okay.
Good luck to you, buddy.
Thank
you.
you.
Good luck.
Appreciate it.
Let's go back to Steve.
All right, Alice, thank you very much. Rosie, stay healthy. How bad was Buffalo's offense in the first half? In the first half, Patriots had 18 first downs. The Buffalo Bills had a measly 3. That was it. We got to take another break. Don't forget, I keep pumping this vote. Vote for the player of the game, UPN38.com. Click on player of the game.
Who do you like?
Maybe I'll tell you after the break.
Huh? Brady? Hobbs?
I like them all.
Dylan?
No Dunkin' Donuts Dash for Daylight today. The Patriots did not return a punt or kickoff for a touchdown today, meaning Jack Campbell of Newburyport doesn't win the trip to see the Pats play the Jets, but will still receive a Dunkin' Donuts gift pack. Log on to UPN38.com to find out how you can enter next week's Dunkin' Donuts Dash for Daylight. Welcome back to New England Ford Patriots 5th quarter. Brought to you by the New England Ford dealers, home of the best-selling cars and trucks in New England.
Back in Buffalo with Michael Felger and Ted Johnson. We'll start with you on Brady. Big game, but did it come at a price?
I don't think too bad of a price. I just saw him in the locker room. It's not like he's got a big wrap on that thing or anything. I don't even see him icing it right now. Certainly he'll be icing it tonight. We saw him go in and out of the x-ray room, so certainly there's obviously something there. If you look real close at the play, I think Aaron Schobel got him with his helmet on the knee area. Obviously, if it were real bad, he wouldn't have played, and he wouldn't be walking around like he's walking around right now. So I think they dodged a big bullet on that. But overall, Alice and Ted, I thought it was, I don't know, the legend of Tom Brady grows. I mean, after he takes that hit, to be running around the way that he did, to be standing in there on a few of those plays that he did, that one play where he stepped up in the pocket and then hit Deion Branch for that 11-yard gain on the sidelines. I mean, that was a ridiculous play.
You're right.
And
with the velocity and the weather, I mean, I don't know if people realize that at home, the weather was just bad.
So he's gotten hit on the knee. It's cold. He's getting, I mean, the pressure was there on that play. He had to step up in the middle of 3 or 4 bodies, and he just got walloped, and he delivered it on a line, on the sideline.
And that's a tough throw. People don't realize that. To hit the corner, there's no room for error there. Just get your feet in to get that first down. And, I mean, stepping up like that, you got to have total confidence in the guys around you that they're keeping your pocket clean to do that.
I thought it was just an epic game for him. I mean, really one of his greats. And the 2 interceptions, I don't know if either were his fault. The second one certainly wasn't, goes off Mike Cloud's hands. But the first one, it looked to me, Ted, I don't know, that David Givens maybe should have stopped on that one. It was an out pattern, it looked like.
It looked like a corner route to me, where David should have broke it out to the outside. I mean, that's where Tom put it. It would have been money if David would have done that. I don't know a route where you turn back in that way, that deep, unless it was a fade route closer to the end zone. So it looked like a miscue from the receiver there.
And the defense, so aggressive today, just carrying over from last week.
Absolutely carried over from last week. And what allows them to even start that is the run defense. I think one guy who has improved steadily over the whole season is Vince Wilfork, where a month and a half ago, Ted, we're seeing him in the lap of the middle linebackers, and now we're seeing him pretty much stay around the line of scrimmage, and there's been several plays today where he held it within 2 yards on either side of the line. Absolutely the key to a 34. If you don't have a nose tackle who can sit there, you can't play it. I think Vince has improved tremendously.
And I know it's not sexy to talk about, but it's so critical to make sure that you have that all buttoned up, because in December and in the playoffs, if you cannot stop the run and you cannot run the ball, you can't win. I know it's boring sometimes, but it's vital for a defense to stop the run if they have any chance of winning and going deep in the playoffs.
And that sets up what I think we all wanted to see from this defense, which is aggressive defensive play calling. It seemed like every third down, Ted, there were 6 men coming at the quarterback. You saw Hank Poteet Petit, you saw Eugene Wilson, you saw corners, you saw safeties. Finally, like all year, we've been waiting for them to sort of open it up and attack defensively. In the last 2 weeks, they have. Today was an extension of last week where it started.
Absolutely an extension, and this is where they just feed off that confidence. They love it, and they want more of it, and they keep doing that. They're going to keep getting aggressive calls, and I mean they're playing great right now, and it's just defense. All it is confidence. You got Ellis Hobbs playing, or maybe you know, over his head a little bit right now, but he looks like he's having a hell of a lot of fun, and the guys are feeding off that, and everybody. You know, Vince Wilfork, we're hearing his name now. We haven't been hearing it early in the season, so that's good.
Right, and I think that the only way to protect that secondary, listen, let's face it, Rodney Harrison is still not coming back. They still don't have Tyler. There's still flaws out there. The only way you protect that secondary is you don't give the quarterback all day to pick them apart.
Tom Brady's coming. Here we go.
Go there.
Say that again.
Yeah, I think so. I think I did. So it's a rough game.
Shut down the running too much after that. You had to force to scramble. You decided to scramble on a 3rd and 6 on the next drive, and then I think you had a keeper.
Yeah.
Was there pain involved in those runs, or were you able to shut it off a little bit and make those plays?
I mean, I'm just playing. So, I mean, it's going to be hard to ever get me out of there. Yeah, I mean, there's guys in the locker room who play not feeling 100% every day. So, I mean, like I said, if I couldn't play, I wouldn't play, but I could play. So I was in there, and I thought today there was a lot of good things. There was a few things we'd like to do better, but you know, for the most part, it was pretty good. I think someone said we set a franchise record for first downs, which is pretty cool, especially in weather conditions like this.
And yet you made that. I mean, Dion said that he wanted you to get out of the way and not block for him on that reverse there. But you seemed pretty fired up especially after the flag.
Yeah, I mean, he said it was I don't know if it was legal or not. So I didn't think it was. I thought it was legal. Obviously, he thought differently. So we'll see the film. But I thought it was a good block. I mean, we don't get a chance to block a whole lot, so you get excited when you can stick your nose in there and make a play. And you know, Dion made a nice run, but it cost us 15 yards.
But was your injury something that you were just able to play through today, and it's something that could swell up or get worse over time? Or do you think it was something that was just, you know, there's injuries like that where you can play through it at the time and then in the middle of the week it's something else, or do you think you're in the clear going forward?
I'm not sure. I mean, hopefully I'll be out there next week. I'd love to be. You know, we'll see how it goes. So it'd be hard to not play. You know, I love playing, so it would take a lot not to be out there.
Tom, was there a stretch in the game when you were limping? Murkowski was in for Mankins. He'd come out with his arm was hurting. You guys had an entirely, almost practically a different offensive line in front of you at that point. Did you guys quicken the pace a little bit? Did you go to more quick hitter type plays to try to limit the amount of time those guys had to hold their block?
Not really. We just kind of, you know, we're just calling what we thought was going to work the best. And it's funny because you get into a game, you know, Ben went down, so we only had 2 tight ends, so now you're forced to 1 tight end formations, and a lot of that's 3 receivers on the field, and that wasn't really the game plan going in. So it seems like we prepare so hard to play a certain way, and then we get out there and we're just adjusting on the fly. And it was very, you know, it's tricky out there because you're practicing things you haven't really run, and I thought we did, you know, a nice job executing at times.
Would you say that's easier to do now that you have guys like Corey and Kevin back that enable you to run some of those plays a little bit better than, you know, when you have to make those adjustments quickly?
Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, the more experienced guys you have out there, and guys who have been experienced, have been in the system, like Corey, like Kevin, I mean, that always helps. So Corey ran great today. Kevin made some great catches as usual. That was a big play on the one he caught, and ended up leading to a touchdown on the one over his shoulder. So, it was fun. It was fun today.
You guys are undefeated in the snow. When you come out of the tunnel and see that weather, is there something that kind of, you know, makes you perk up? Say, well, this is our type of weather, you know?
Well, it's and we played in it and we've been successful. We've been successful a lot though the last few years. So it really hadn't mattered the conditions a whole lot. I mean, this year, you know, we're 8-5. You know, not really where we want to be, but you know, we won 2 games in a row, and you know, we got a tough challenge this week against Tampa Bay, and it's a short week, so got to put a lot into it and see if we can put together a great game against one of the best teams in the NFC.
If Miami loses this afternoon and you guys clinch, would that have any effect on whether you play next week or not?
No, it's up to me. And I don't like sitting out. I don't like watching. I like playing. So.
Can you ever feel sorry for the quarterback, a kid like Lossman, on a day like today?
I mean, I know how tough it is to play quarterback, so you just can't take anything for granted. The interception I threw, the one to Nate Clements, I mean, it just the worst play of the day. So you just sometimes you take things for granted and you throw it, and it ends up being just something you'd like to do better, and you learn from it and you try not to do it again. So I'm sure that's where he's at, and he's a good player, and I mean, he does some very good things out there. I think our defense was awfully stingy today.
Bad weather affects a lot of quarterbacks, but not yourself. Is it more of a mental thing in terms of going out there, knowing how to throw it, dropping back?
Well, it doesn't affect our receivers a whole lot, or O-line, or our running game. It's a total effort, and I mean, we practice in it. We got to go out there and play in it and execute. And this was a good day to do it. I mean, we went out there for pregame warm-ups, and that was worse. It was as bad as it could get, and they cleared off the field, and it was like, oh man, it's a new day out there. So I was hoping we'd just play in the slop, but they cleared it off and ended up being pretty much a normal game.
Do you think that around the league people look at the score and look at the numbers? Well, this is maybe a statement that you guys have made, and to a certain degree, 35%.
Well, we've only won 8 games, so we're 8-5. I don't think anyone's too fearful of being a team that's 8-5. So we beat a tough team, a team that plays well at home, and we got to build on it. And there's 3 games left in the year, and there's no more important game than the one we got coming up this week. And like I said, it's going to be a tough challenge. I mean, it's a playoff caliber team, and that's our goal. We got to hopefully win the AFC East and start building and trying to get better. See where we are next week.
How good is it to have Kevin Falk back? To win, we always talk about that.
Yeah.
In the last 2 weeks, you guys have been in control of a game.
Yeah.
Do you feel it coming around and getting a feel for how good this team could be?
Well, there's certain things that have been better the last few weeks. You scored 35-7 against a team that at home in the snow, and you feel, and really, I mean, two turnovers in the red zone. I mean, one on the slant go we ran, and the other on the one I threw to Mike. And you think that we probably gave up some points there, whether it be touchdowns or field goals, and scored 35 points against anybody, especially against this good defense with good players, especially in the secondary. They rush the passer. Hopefully we'll continue to build on it.
How good is it to have Kevin Falk back?
It's always good to have Kev back. I mean, we missed him for a long time, so he's been a spark. He's made some great runs, some great catches, and we're going to need it down the stretch.
Were you looking to go to him that much today, or did having you adjust on the fly just make him more of a target?
Well, we got a lot of guys out there who are capable of making plays for us, like Dion and Troy, and all the guys seem to get the ball, and really whatever the coverage dictates, that's who's getting the ball. Dave Givens made some big plays today. He came back after an injury, missing some games, and he's really turned the corner, and I'd love to see what this offense can be if we just stop getting injured, but that's just the way it's been this year.
Was there a mix-up with David on that first interception? Were you expecting him to cut it off or break out?
I mean, Nate was high on it. I was trying to throw it to his back shoulder, see if we could make a play on it. And Dave caught it late. I mean, I just shouldn't throw that ball.
Can you use this game at all as a little bit of a measuring stick of improvement from the first time you played them, where it was touch and go right to the end of this game? Obviously, was much different. Does it reflect at all some sort of positive movement in your opinion?
Well, I mean, I think so. I think we're doing things much better than we did when we played them the first time. I remember the first time we played them, we had a hard time on third down against them. We couldn't stay on the field, and we couldn't get off the field defensively, and I think they were 20% today or 25%. We were 75%. That's important. Like I said, there's some things in the red zone we would like to have done better. Hopefully the offensive line can get healthy, and we can continue to just plug away. And you get late in the year, you need to run the ball, especially in weather conditions like this, and I think we're running the ball better, which is setting up our play action. We had some big passes on play action today, and anytime they got to respect what Corey's doing back there, it opens it up that much for Dion and David and Troy. So we're certainly doing things better. Are we doing perfect? No, but we're doing better than we did earlier in the year, and I think that's encouraging for everybody.
Did the legs feel better or worse as the game went on?
You know, pretty much the same. It was cold out there, so when you get hit, you just can't rub some dirt on it on Astroturf field. We rub some snow on it and get back in there and keep going. So, all right.
How did Tom Astroturf play over on the left side? I know you don't get to watch it play-by-play, but you got sacked early.
Yeah.
And then after that, it seemed pretty decent, I guess.
Yeah, and I think that first sack, I really held onto the ball too long. That was, you know, trying to get the ball to Ben there, and guy Posey played underneath it, and I was looking for Corey, and by that time I started to run forward, and they sacked me. But I mean, I think they did a great job. I mean, Tom adjusts on the fly. I mean, he was in there, you know, this week, and Nick couldn't go, so he just stepped up to the challenge, and I thought really did some great things. So, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, that was Mr. Sportsman of the Year, Patriot quarterback Tom Brady. We'll be back right after the break. We'll have player of the game results. 35-7, Patriots are rolling. Stay with us.
Welcome back to New England Ford Patriots Fifth Quarter. Brought to you by the New England Ford dealers, home of the best-selling cars and trucks in New England.
Well, you, the fans, voted, and Troy Brown wins it, player of the game. And why not Troy Brown? He delivered today, 39% of the vote. Troy Brown also scored a touchdown today as well, and he made some key catches in key moments. Take a look at Troy Brown's touchdown.
It's a little hitch pattern, I guess you call it that. It's kind of a gathering pass to a wide receiver. And give a one-on-one against a DB.
And a great face push with the stiff arm right here. This is what a running back or a wide receiver dreams of. Poof, right to the ground. That's going to be run over back and forth in the film room tomorrow.
In Buffalo.
Well, oh, yeah, that too. You're right about that, too.
All right, we're going to show you some of the highlights because we got plenty to show you. 35-7. And let's get right to them. Some Pats fans made the trip all the way up to Buffalo, Newman. Just even making that trip, driving 8 hours.
They're a hale and hearty crew. Hey, the Patriots are now 10-0 in snow games. They've won 15 in a row under 35 degrees and 24-3 in their last 27 under 35. How's that?
Not bad. Lossman finds Lee Evans for 58 yards. Now, what happens here is,
it looked like cover 2, and it looked like Stone, the safety, took a shallow angle when he should have been over the top more.
After a couple penalties and a loss of 2, Bills face 3rd and goal on the Pats 22, and Lossman trying to find a Sam Aiken. Instead, Samuel makes a key interception.
That is another, we had it last week, another fair catch interception. He could have sat underneath that ball all day.
Easy pickings. Easy pickings. Lossman was trying to throw him the ball. Pats take over, trying to make the Bills pay for the turnover. Tom Brady finds favorite target. Well, Deion Branch. They connect for 23 yards.
Again, it was great distribution to a number of receivers. The O-line did a great job protecting Brady. And again, when you ring up a franchise record 32 first downs in conditions like this, and then you scramble it in for the touchdown, you know you've got some big-time offense working. And Brady was able to score first here, but paid the price when he takes a hit here from Schobel and ducks under the linebacker's helmet.
And actually a good job by the Buffalo defense to cover, because Brady hits all sorts of receivers. They covered everybody. Brady had to take it in.
And that's scary when you see him getting up hobbling. Brady again running, scrambling here, and he's hobbling all the way down. Pretty good pickup, pretty heads-up play.
Shades of Willis Reed running down the court.
Then watch this. Hurt and all. Brady still makes the block on this Deion Branch reverse. Penalty on the play. Brady can't believe it, but he's going to get called for crack backing.
Which I've never heard of from anyone that pulls out from behind the center. It could have been called holding because he did reach his arm out, but for as far as a crackback, that's one that the referee blew. You could easily call a penalty on holding with the arm.
Brady's telling the ref, he's coming at me. What do you mean crackback?
What was amazing is that the guy actually sat there and listened to Tom Brady. Not many guys in the NFL will get that kind of respect.
All right, and then you got Corey Dillon just running up some real estate here.
And during the sequence, Steve, the Patriot defense, the Bills went 3 and out, 3 out of their first 4 possessions. So keep that in mind to help set up this Dillon score to make it 14-0. And this is just good work by Dillon and seeking out the hole and finding the end zone in the corner.
And you're seeing sharp cuts from Dillon that you didn't see early in the season, and you saw a little bit of last week.
Takes out the cameraman there.
Yeah, he did. We tried to help him up afterwards, though. Nice guy.
Go now to the third quarter. Brady and Branch up to their old tricks again. They connect here for 28 yards. Brady leads the NFL with completions of over 20 yards with 50.
I thought he couldn't throw the long ball, Steve.
Yeah, remember that was the criticism?
Well, those guys do have
TV?
a little yards after the catch, but he was hitting guys in stride all day. That was the best thing about it. That right there probably should have been caught by Cloud. A little bit of heat on the ball, but that interception right there was a little combination of a strong throw, and I think Kevin Falk might have caught that ball.
Yeah, and then Lossman, he's going to go deep, gives it right back. Ellis Hobbs comes up big, right place, right time. And Ellis Hobbs just makes himself the receiver, Newman.
Yeah, and again, Lossman looks like he's a kid with a pretty decent arm, but when you have no running game and your O-line is getting pulverized by a blitzing Patriots secondary, Lossman had no shot.
And your main receiver, Eric Moulds, is out for the game.
Yeah. All right, this is Kevin Falk here. Kevin Falk made some great catches today on screens and everything else, but there was no bigger catch than that one right there.
Well, he had 6 receptions for 71 yards, and again, the great change of pace with Corey Dillon, and now they're going to go to David Givens, and this was an explosive play and helped really put this puppy away in the midway point of the third quarter.
And you got two guys in Givens and Falk that are some of the best third down receivers in football.
And then we show you the Troy Brown player who was named player of the game. The thing I want to go back to Givens for 1 second. The thing I like about Givens is that Givens can run after he catches the football. He can, you know, pile up some yardage.
Especially when Brady's hitting him in stride like that.
Yes.
The guy's he already knows where he's going upfield before he even catches the ball.
And here's Patriots with one of their pet plays, finding Fourier in the back line.
Haven't seen that play before, have we? Oh my goodness! How do teams keep falling for that? That is unbelievable.
By this time, it was game, set, and match, and this was a nice little play by. Got a paw on that.
Bruschi comes up big there.
Sanders said, thank you very much, Teddy. And this is adding another touch to make it 35-0. And by now, the Bills fans are heading for Williamsburg and Amherst and all the suburbs. And the Patriots are now a Charger win over the Miami Dolphins away from clinching the AFC East.
8-5, and Brady said they're not really where they want to be, but, you know, they'll take 8-5. And about 2 hours from now, they will have clinched the AFC East because the Dolphins will pretty much lose to San Diego.
It was interesting hearing Brady to me after the game, and here he is after putting up, 32 first downs in a snow game. As we take a look at what will be an interesting game against Tampa Bay.
Buccaneers going to be tough.
We'll talk about that. Of course, the Jet game at New York and Miami to wrap it up on New Year's Day. But here's Brady. After leading the team to 32 first downs in the snow.
Right.
And being a magnificent passer throughout the game and a great gutsy guy with limping around and whatever. Talking about the plays he didn't make.
Exactly. Because he stays humble that way.
He's an extension of Bill Belichick. It's like Bill's the reverend and he's the chief parishioner. He prays at that church of Belichick. I got to get better, despite the fact I thought he was terrific all day long.
They've been trained to think that way for years now. They've been trained to think that way.
Want to see my favorite play of the game?
Yes,
My favorite play of the game is not Brady throwing with his right hand, but Tom Brady throwing with his left hand. Now, it wasn't for a big amount of yardage, but check out, this is just a heads-up play.
That's Flutie-esque is what that is, Steve. I'll tell you that right now.
What happens if it gets intercepted? What do you say, Steve?
Well, then he's a bum.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. But you know what? He's got the presence about himself. He can't get rid of the ball right-handed. So, hey, let's shuffle this off to Corey Dillon.
It's a shot put.
A shot put. But you know what? It's a 2-yard gain instead of a loss.
All right, I want to ask you a question, because I know he has a fundamental difference with Felger about the way to play defense.
Okay, can we ask this question after
Sure.
the break?
Sure.
All right, we got to take a break, and then we'll go back down to Alice Cook and Ted Johnson to wrap things up. But Newey's got a question. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to New England Ford Patriots 5th Quarter. Brought to you by the New England Ford dealers, home of the best-selling cars and trucks in New England.
All right, next weekend, Patriots don't play on Sunday. They play on Saturday, 1:30 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They'll be rolling into town. The 5th quarter will be on UPN 38 right after the game. And then on Sunday morning, yes, we still continue on. That's our game day. We'll have 11:30 Patriots game day on Sunday morning. So Sunday after the Saturday.
I fully expect some statistics and numbers about Tampa Bay in cold weather and the Patriots in cold weather.
Of course, we will do that. And you know what? Let's go back down to Alice Cook and Ted Johnson for their final thoughts. Guys?
All right, Steve, thank you very much. Well, my final thought is the Patriots normally save their best for last. Traditionally, they do that. They play great football in December, and this is a very good sign.
This is the key point for these guys in this season right now. The defense is playing as good as it's played all season. You got young guys stepping up, making plays. It looks like the safeties are finally buttoning up what they need to do, and guys are talking and playing better. The defensive line's playing outstanding right now, and on offense, what can you say? I mean, when you get Kevin Falk in there and Corey Dillon, it's just a whole different offense. So the guys are peaking at the right time going in the playoffs.
It's looking better. That's the story from Buffalo. Back to you, Steve Burton.
All right, guys, have a safe trip back from Buffalo. I'm glad you're there. I'm glad I'm here. Good job down there, Go. All right, Numi, you have one last question.
I do, and that is, I think this team will go as far as their defense carries them. Defense wins in sports. Now, the last couple of weeks, they have been attacking more. Mike Felger has pointed that out. But it's been against Brooks Bollinger. It's been against J.P. Lossman. I want to put the question to my man Diossi here about young Chris Sims. He's the Tampa Bay quarterback. Cadillac Williams, an excellent rookie running back. Now, it's one thing to attack the likes of Bollinger and Lossman and maybe even Chris Sims. Do you expect that again on Saturday? And can you do it against the Peyton Mannings and Trent Greens of the world?
Well, regardless of what people might think, the players do not control what type of defense you play. The fans do not control, and the writers do not control it. What controls it is Bill Belichick and what he decides is appropriate for the situation. In both of these games, the Buffalo game and the Jets game, they were in control pretty much from the get-go. They couldn't get a running game going in terms of against the Patriots defense. You can do a lot of things in that situation. You've got a better running game with Tampa. You've got a quarterback. While he still is young, he is better than Lossman or better than Bollinger. You have to be careful exposing the secondary for what they are, a bunch of young guys that aren't really experienced. So you absolutely will go after them at the right time, not nearly as many times as you went after Bollinger and not as many times as you went after J.P. Lossman in this situation.
All right, guys. Patriots end up beating the Buffalo Bills 35-7. They're rolling. You say don't rest their players. Let them play. Let them just roll right into the playoffs.
Play on.
All right, we'll see what Bill Belichick does.
Stay on a
Let's
roll.
not forget, they don't have a bye week this year. No bye week going into the postseason. All right, that's the final. Coming up on CBS 4, we're going to show you this. Red Sox this week at 10 o'clock on UPN 38, I should say. That's what's coming up. Red Sox this week on UPN 38. Dan Roach recaps the winter meetings, and there's always a lot going on in those winter meetings.
You know, Steve, not only that, I bet if the fans that are watching the show switch to Channel 4 right now, they can watch that Charger-Miami game and see if the Patriots clinch the AFC.
And I'm willing to bet that they will do that in the next couple hours, that Miami will lose this game. And we're going to recap it on Sports Final tonight at 11:30. Patriots, 32 first downs, an NFL record in the snow out in Buffalo. 35-7 the final, and we are finally done. I'm Steve Burton saying good night and have a great evening.
The time for Brady, a block by Cohen, a block by Mankins. He'll dive in for the touchdown. Give that touchdown to the offensive line, a 3-yard dive by Brady. And on the end in the secondary, 1st and 10 at the 12. And Corey Dillon, oh, look, there he goes, galloping into the end zone.
Just gets to the end zone and does what he should do. Mertzkowski does a nice job blocking on Crowell. Dillon, we talked about him putting that foot in the ground, Kevin, and then going. And we saw Falk emulate. Turn the ball over.
Around the third receiver goes to Troy Brown outside. He gets by King, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown. What a move by 34.
Troy Brown.
Thank you for watching New England Ford Patriots 5th Quarter.